Welcome back to our coverage of the Blitz in Romania as we have two exciting rounds under our belts. But here we have the standings, and we've been making a lot of hay about the fact that they are so up in the air, so bunched together. Korobov, 12.5, 1.5 point lead. Seems pretty cool, but he did start today with a loss. Anish and Levon behind with 11 points. But almost everyone all the way down to 9, within striking distance if they can pull together a few wins.
Right, just a couple of rounds in which things go their way would be enough for them to really position themselves fighting for the podium. Even Artemiev, who are currently at 9 points, 3.5 points away from Korobov, can be fighting up there. He just needs to string some wins together. And this round, well, this is a tough one to pick.
Big games as usual. Fabiano Caruana versus Wesley. But let's keep our eye on our leader, Anton Korobov, who's going to be facing Vishy Anand.
Yeah, Vishy, who keeps playing good chess. He lost the first game, flagged against Fabiano Caruana, but he bounced back. And this is a crucial one for setting the mood the rest of the Blitz day.
And I understand that we're having a very exciting guest this round as Florin Georgiou, a grandmaster, the first ever grandmaster from Romania.
Well, Georgiou, absolute legend of chess, former world junior champion. In a sense, he was an inspiration for generations of players in Romania. I mean, when you think of Florin Georgiou, you think chess. This is the guy that got it started. People looked up to his games. He played some amazing chess back in the day. He wasn't the receiving end of a lot of brilliancies, but he himself plays some magnificent chess.
And there he is. Look at the legend, 75 years young, as he gets ready to play the first move. And Korobov is telling him what he's going to play, I think. Yes, he's got D4 on the board.
Respect for such a legend, indeed,
Absolutely.
and the players know game knows game. And Georgiou was one of those guys who got it done back in the day.
Incredible, yeah. And he's also a lecturer in foreign languages, knows 5 languages. Wow.
It's pretty impressive. And we're
And
sticking
here
with
we're
this.
sticking with this game.
Korobov versus Anand, going straight into a Nimzo Indian. I like that Korobov has been employing the Nimzo Indian action with
Another
white.
Rubinstein variation. As you mentioned, not as fashionable as you might expect, but so classical development, right?
Yeah, it's one of those things that just comes in and out of fashion, and in this case, well, we might get a transposition into the Karpov variation if Vishy decides to take on d4, but instead he opts for bishop d7 yet again.
Korobov bringing it back. Queen
Yes.
e2. Now, a lot of times in the Nimzo, you see the queen coming to c2, but not as needed now because then you're not as worried about this bishop takes c3 idea.
Right.
Because it doesn't even double the pawns anymore. And you also need that queen to protect the knight on f3. Rook d1, eyeing the queen on d8.
And Korobov is in a slippery situation right now, to be honest.
You think so?
Position-wise or standings-wise?
Not the position. In terms of the standings, he doesn't want to trend the wrong way. That's the thing about Blitz. You don't want to trend the wrong way. And he's already lost one game. And he's drawn the other one.
And he was in trouble against
And
Levon.
it was slight trouble, right? As Levon hadn't allowed himself to get in such a bad time situation. But Korobov wants to win something soon to say, yes, I'm definitely at the top of the leaderboard. You guys have to chase me. If he keeps drawing and then, oh man, ends up losing a game possibly, then he's going to be starting to feel like, oh, I'm not playing well today. That's the last thing you want in your head. I'm not playing well today. Because then trends change, and we know how it is in chess, in Blitz chess in particular. You could just start going downhill really quickly.
That's right. He does not want that to happen. He's still commanding these tanks. Let's see if he can, make it another victory with white against Vishy. One thing he's not doing is getting into big time pressure, so that's good.
Well, we have a typical battle, and this is what seems to be the key of the games that we've been watching today. The battle between the pair of bishops against the knights. And again, you can see that since Vishy took on c3 with his bishop, he has eliminated that knight. That allows him the light square control over the center, especially that point on e4. That's a critical point in the Nimzo Indian. If white takes control over e4, normally they are much better, but for now you can see that there's so much pressure over the light squares. This is key to retain some sort of balance A computer usually tends to like the bishops in this kind of positions, not fully understanding some of the resources that black has. That being said, at the moment, you do want to meet e5 with d5. Sorry, with the move d5, and that's the reason that I don't think black has managed to equalize fully, because black does need to play e5 at some point.
That's a great move, that bishop to b3 just played, and now the knight leaping into e4. And that
Running
bishop,
knight c3, so bishop
Very
b2.
solid. This rook's going to come to c1 or defend the pawn on c3.
b6 played. So are we going to play a5 at some point, Alejandro?
A5 has pluses and minuses. The big plus, of course, my rooks are more active. On the other hand, the opening of the b file can sometimes embarrass the bishop on b3 and b2. So tactically, you need to be aware of these bishops. Now, c4, another committal move.
And now rook fd8 played quickly.
Yeah, this bishop is pretty much dead at the moment, but it can be activated on the other diagonal. So the question is, do I want to prepare to play d5 first and then transfer my bishop, or do I want to do it right away? Now notice Anand is playing very confidently, very quickly. That time advantage is starting to build up.
a5.
That's right. That time advantage is not one of those more obvious ones where like Anton goes into the tank, right?
No.
It's more just like Vichy's just playing all his moves in 2 seconds and
Yeah.
Anton's playing them maybe in 8 seconds.
And
it adds up.
And it's a good blitz strategy. Keep putting the pressure on the clock. You might not make the exact best move. The way Aronian was trying to make the best move in the position. You just play a good enough move. You keep playing chess. You keep playing chess. And you can see the bar on the left. It keeps going up and down, up and down. It's not the most precise chess that I've ever seen. But Anand keeps the pressure on the clock. It's that minute advantage. It's that psychological
+1 minute
pressure.
now.
One of the things about this that facilitates that process is the ease of playing your moves.
Yes.
The ease of playing the particular position. What's my plan? My plan should be XYZ. Okay, let me just make those moves. You see the rook land on a7. That's an easy move to play. Maybe it's only equal if the guy plays rook a8, maybe. But I don't have to calculate that because there could be some difficulty. And now he's done the move rook to a8. And that's a challenging move. Now, is this? I see the bar going crazy for the move. Knight e5 is what the engine is
I'm
going.
found.
That's a
I'm
huge
found.
move.
Knight e5 allowing rook takes a7, but then there's knight takes c6.
Yes,
and what
that would be
happens
a
if
fork.
and
Monster
so if,
blow,
and you can't play
cannot
knight
allow.
e5 because of rook takes e7.
Only move is to play bishop e4 now. You've got to move the bishop. But now it's getting specific. Matters are getting real specific as to having to find moves. And usually that takes time on the clock. And you see Anand hesitating there because he didn't anticipate this move. And the second's starting to tick.
We always criticize players for taking too long, but is it possible that Anand actually should have thought for 30 seconds before playing rook a8?
And actually,
considering
bishop
he
b7
had a minute and a half extra on the clock.
Bishop b7 is also actually playable, but it does allow rook takes b7 and knight c6 and played. Played on the board. Anand didn't quite expect this, but he had to go for the line. As you see there, he jumped momentarily, recoiled, but he's still okay. He's given away now both bishops. And Korobov can say, I've got both bishops and the imbalanced center. This has got to be better for white.
Yeah, but the last time I heard, Anand loves knights, so he's going to be happy. And they're tricky pieces. This is not a position in which the bishops are just dominating. At the moment,
look at this.
At the moment,
E5.
it's not going to be so easy. I'm going to play e5. I'm going to put a knight on d6. Yes, no doubt, white is better. But black has his own chances with a knight on d6.
e5, importantly instructive move there.
And I think
keeping
this is
the
a very
position
important move.
closed.
This is a very important move. Bishop in a4, improving the position of the bishop. He wants that a file. He wants to be able to play the bishop to c6, put the rook on a1, and say, you cannot contest on this position.
I don't know, Ale. This looks good for white.
No, it's
I'm
obviously
scared
good
of
for white.
the D pawn, the rook on the A file, the bishops, the one on B2. Both bishops we can talk about this time since black has none himself. And that knight on B7, better get to D6 as soon as possible. It just feels, and now the knight on F6 does not look that attractive. What if bishop C6 here?
He'll just play knight d6. He's just going to, knight a5. Why on a5?
Man, this is scary. I could just play bishop back to b5 in the worst case. White is preparing an e4 and f4 future. This is not dead.
I'm gonna argue it's not as easy as you're making it sound.
I'm just talking ease of play. Of what does black want exactly?
He was going to put one knight on a5. He's going to put the other knight on d6, and he's going to more or less sit.
Okay, if you can hold that, then more power. He's just dropped the bishop all the way back.
I expect
to
this
A4.
knight to jump to e4 so that it can retreat to d6, and he's done exactly that.
Yeah, and he's got over a minute and a half edge of the clock. That's really what Anand has going for him here.
And the knight on d6, it is a very dangerous knight. It is going to be attacking c4. This bishop is still not part of the game. You mentioned ease of play. White is better. There is no contest about this. White is better. But black has easy moves.
You know, that is a good point. You want to have easy moves all the time. Now the next stop, what to do in this position as black now plays f6.
Very logical. You start playing against the bishop on b2. You put all your pawns on the dark squares. You make this knight solid. This bishop isn't participating because you have this strong structure. You've tied down. Look at how Anand has tied down the pieces to c4. And is white better? Maybe.
No, but I'm impressed. I'm starting to agree with you. The way Anand has handled this, the guy's knights are such genius pieces. A second ago, they were on b7 and d7. Now they're on d6 and a5, and the one on a5 is supposed to be grim, and it's very specifically tying down the two major pieces that white has. You don't want that to be the case. And now he's played queen d3, looking to play bishop e2.
e4. Can I play e4? This is always something you're going to be thinking about in
and
this
now
kind of
queen
position.
g6, looking for trades. He's
Anand played queen g6 and e4
himself.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping Anand played e4 as black and shattered that structure. But
That was it. Now he's trying to switch around with queen e8. We saw him do this maneuver before in the rapid, bring his queen all the way back and switch to the a file. In this case, he's saying, if you try to do bishop e2 and shut everything down, which has happened, then I might be able to play queen a4. Of
But watch out. Your ideas of playing f4 for an attack are going to come out if you bring your queen to the other side.
And queen c2 now on the board. And the knight dropping back to b7, and now they battle for the a file, and the pieces have traded off. Now Anand has no worries. Look at the queen go to a8.
But I'm sorry, at some point we're saying that white was in complete control of the
no,
a
that's
file.
gone now.
That's
gone. The way he's done the mastery with this knight.
This knight.
And the queen, guys. Remember that queen g6 idea? Remember we saw that queen h5, queen e8, queen a8 in that game he played? He's done the same thing again. Queen g6 to e8 to a8 to a3.
I don't think that.
And now he's just
It's a
better.
masterpiece.
I don't think it's helped Korobov to get rid of those rooks because those attacking chances would be more prominent if we had like a rook on f1.
Well, this queen
right?
is just a monster. It coordinates so well with the knights in this particular position.
Now he's just stolen a pawn. Give me the pawn. What was that about? Thanks for the gift. Every move by Anand just gorgeous so far. And now a check to the back rank.
The queen's going to land on e5, and I'm going to attack e4, and I'm going to hold on to this pawn on f4.
Stop it with the great moves. Unbelievably beautiful chess.
King f2, but queen d4?
Playing.
What's wrong with queen d4?
And he's about to play g5. Cement his pawn. Got it forever.
I thought queen d4 finished the game.
But queen d4 did look very strong. You're right. And this move g5, what just happened?
King f3?
King f3? He's so lucky a knight is not...
What do you mean lucky?
I said
what
lucky, but here it comes.
What is this king doing on f3?
The knight is on its way, and now his king has been encircled.
This is checkmate in one threat.
Oh my goodness! Desperation. He's got to take on f6. And
this has to be checkmate.
Anand said, "Give me more, give me food." Queen e3 check looked like he should have been mating at some point, but now he's desperate. Only 16 seconds left. King in deep trouble. Korobov really suffering right now.
At least he has some strategical trumps at the moment. He does have pass pawns. If he can get the pawn to
pass
e5,
pawns, his king's about to die. Look at this.
Again, it's a blitz game. He's going to use his trumps. It doesn't matter if he gets checkmated. He needs.
It doesn't matter if he gets checkmated. That's a great line.
It doesn't matter because he needs to play for his trumps.
Well, there goes one pawn, and the trump is done.
That might be the end, yeah.
That is horrible.
But queen f5, look, he's back in the game.
Boy.
I'm telling you that he uses his trumps. He has the bishop, he has a pass pawn, and he has a king with the queen.
You're
it
right,
doesn't matter if he gets
was
checkmated.
A blunder.
He needs to do something active.
What you're saying is in some universes he gets checkmated, but in other universes he doesn't.
What I'm saying is he doesn't have to calculate it.
I got you.
If he gets mated, who cares? I mean, he was going to lose anyway.
Right.
He needs to believe in his moves.
Yeah, it's about just gambling.
Yeah, he needs
if you
to
know
gamble.
you're going to lose, you might as well.
That gamble has paid off. Anand blundered by taking the pawn on e5, and now white is better.
Well, he's threatening checkmate.
He's better. Anand just blew it.
Threatening, you mean, where's the checkmate threat you're talking about?
If the knight moves away on e5, then I will have queen e6 and queen e7, queen g7 checkmate.
And now if 2 check, shutting off anything.
Because e7 is covered at the moment, so queen e6 doesn't quite checkmate, but it's very close.
Queen e6 check, right?
Yeah, you don't have queen e7.
Look at the queen on h2, by the way. This is bad news. Your knight is hanging.
Does that actually threaten something? Besides the knight.
you know, he needed to make a move. He's got only 7 seconds.
He's got to play Queen H1 Anand. He's
Queen
got to play
H1
Queen
is
H1.
very logical. You attack
the only
the
move.
You attack the bishop on F1, and if King E2, I have Queen H5 check.
Getting back in business.
You got
only
it.
chance.
And he's about to play it.
Is he about to play it?
He's reaching for his queen.
Yeah.
There it is on the board, and seconds ticking down to
4.
6 total time, and now Queen H5 check necessary. And boy, the mistakes could come at any moment. Queen H6 guarding the G7 square, but still that
Ooh.
knight is hanging.
But we're running.
Queen F4, attacking the bishop on F6. He makes that tempo, and the bishop retreats to defend a lot of important squares.
But the
Queen
knight
G7
can
on tap
Queen
is
G7
checkmate.
is a threat, and
Yeah.
he's guarded everything now.
But he's protected the knight
But
now.
Black is back in business. Black somehow survived what looked like mate, and now Anand just has to use the edge on the clock to his advantage because he is back in business. No real danger to his position.
I don't know what's going on.
It's chaos, and now a true trade of
Chaos.
queen.
Wait, why
Indeed.
did he trade?
I'm not sure why. He's
But
got-
bishop
It was a
E5
trap.
is going to... No, but before that, he didn't have to allow Queen G6.
Right.
Okay, guys, it's down to the blitz mode now. 119 for Anand. He's down a pawn though. His king is going to have to come into the game at some point.
You mean white is down a pawn?
Yes, white's down a pawn, but
Yes.
there's
Yeah.
that beautiful.
He's starting to collect some of these pawns, though. He's going to take.
Wait. After knight to D2.
Yeah, but he's collecting
He's taking
everything.
All the pawns.
not all of them. Knight back. He's going
one
to grip
left.
off the
Oh,
C
C4
pawn,
is hanging.
and then that's that. Knight D6, and the C pawn will run. Oh, this is lost.
Oh, this is lost.
This is done. This is done now. Anand setting up a perfect fortress.
C4.
That's not going to help. And the pawn's just going to roll down the board,
That's
and he's going to have to resign. That's it.
That's it.
Anand,
What a game.
Master.